Hi, this is Shotgun Tom Kelly, and now that I have your attention, you wanted to be close to him in the dugout during his impressive 15-year Major League career because he was always watching, listening, and looking for an edge. Now, Kurt Bevacqua brings that edge to Dirty Kurt's Dugout, where you can listen, watch, and be a part of the most honest, informative baseball show available today. Now, here's Kurt.
What's up, everybody? Got some interesting stuff to throw at you today. First thing I want to throw out there is thank you to Hacienda Casablanca out in El Cajon. Greatest Mexican food you'll ever have. So go out and see Cindy and Tony. Tell them that KB or producer Joe sent you. 700 North Johnson in El Cajon. And also our good friend Tom Drake at La Cima Oil Company providing the trivia question gas card for you folks out there. I want everybody to like Terrence, as he does almost every week. I think Terrence is the first listener every week. I don't know if he carries his phone around like this or not, but he knows when I'm on. I guarantee you that. So don't forget, Balboa and Genesee, the Chevron station, Balboa and Genesee. If you're in that area specifically, get your gas there. He supports our show. I know you support me, and his prices are as good as it's out there. So we all pay too much for gas. And Tom will probably be the first one to tell you that. But got to thank our sponsors. And as most of you know, especially the guys that are up on the board already, Gil and Terrence, and I invite all of you to come in and share your questions or comments on anything that you want to throw out there. But I started to mention Boomer Wells, who was on last week, and I sure wish he was here right now to ask him his opinion on this news that has broken since our last broadcast. They are going to move, and when I say they, MLB, because they control the minor leagues. It's not going to happen at the major league level this year. They were quick to point that out. They're going to move second base. I know. You're at the edge of your seat, right? Where are they going to move it to? Well, they're going to move it closer to first. And which would naturally, they're going to move it in. Or in other words, closer to home plate, which will make it closer to first base and also to third base. It's going to be 87 feet from first to second and also from second to third. A shorter distance for the base runner, a shorter distance on throws, and also a shorter distance for catchers to throw from home to second. So even though you think that the base runner might have an advantage here, it seems to me like it's nullified with the shorter distance from the catcher to second base. I guess they're trying to create more excitement. And I know a lot of you, and this is going to come as a surprise. So, see, Gil's saying it's got to be tougher to steal second, when in fact, they made a point that they're doing it in anticipation that there'll be more attempts at stolen bases. We will see. A lot of you are probably saying, wait a second, you just said 87 feet. That's 3 feet shorter. That's a long ways. I mean, yardstick. Well, guess what? Second base has never been 90 feet from first base. Did you guys see this that just came up on my screen? Joe, producer Joe, you come on in here for a second.
Yo.
Did you see what just came up on my screen or not?
I had nothing on my screen.
Oh, okay, good. I took the little what do they call those little chips that you put into your desktop so that your wireless mouse will work and
a dongle.
Yeah, dongle. I took the dongle out of my computer that we're on right now, and I put it on my desktop a few minutes ago so I could print some stuff out. And then I put it back in to the computer here, and it just came up. Do I want to reconnect my my mouse? And it comes up all the time, but I never seen it come up after we had already been on the air for a few minutes. So that's what I wanted.
Nope, everything looks good on my side.
That I was continuing to broadcast correctly, and everybody wasn't going, "What the hell is this he's got up there?"
This tech moment brought to you by Hacienda Casablanca, 700 North Johnson Avenue in El Cajon. Back to you, Kurt.
Oh, that was cute. That's funny. So, 90 feet, 60 feet, 6 inches, pitching rubber, home plate. "90 feet from base to base." And, I only played professional baseball for 19 years. What the hell do I know? And I just found out the other day that the distance from first base to second base is 88 and a half feet, or was, still is at the major league level, 88 and a half feet. It's going to be dropped down to 87 at the minor league level this year in anticipation of the possibility of bringing it to big leagues in latter years. Don't know about that. Freddie Oswald, watching Jeopardy the other day, and the final question was the 1948 Cleveland pitcher who was the oldest ever to win a World Series game. I'm not good at trivia. So I'm not even gonna try. So again, I want to invite you all with your comments or questions. I want to say hi to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. It's Kurt Bevacqua, Dirty Kurt's Dugout. Let's go to the Padre camp real quick. Pitching. Pitching's been pretty good. Mackenzie Gore, we know, has been strong, surprisingly strong. And also Nick Martinez, who started today against the Brewers. And get this line: 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, and 4 strikeouts to go with his great pitching up to this date We all know that as advertised, Paddock, Weathers, and a couple of others are vying for the 5th spot in the rotation. I think Nick Martinez might have locked it up today. But because of the way Mackenzie Gore has looked, Bob Melvin says that a 6-man rotation is not out of the question. And that is all because of Mackenzie Gore. Going from the pitcher's mound to behind home plate, I'm going to be curious to see how the catchers shake out this spring, and I'll tell you why. Jorge Alfaro, acquired from the Marlins, the day that the collective bargaining agreement expired. Maybe that's because of good things to happen. Is hot, folks. He's hot. And I'll tell you how hot in a minute. But Campusano, the highly regarded catcher from the Padre organizations, hitting bombs. And then you got Caratini and Nola. I mean, is this ball club even thinking about keeping 4 catchers? I don't think that's possible. Because you know who's leading all of baseball in RBIs and home runs? Well, he's actually tied with Lindor at 10 RBIs, and he's tied with about 4 other guys with 4 home runs. But that's Jorge Alfaro. Yeah, I know it's just spring. But still, you sit up and take notice when guys come in camp and swing the bat. And good for him. Now, on the mound, we're still talking Padres here. Krismat's throwing the ball well as Lamet. They've got more strikeouts than innings pitched. But the 2 guys that are really leading the pack are Yu Darvish and Mackenzie Gore. You know, Yu's got 10 strikeouts in 7 innings. And Gore has 11 in 9 innings. These guys are throwing the ball. Now, I know Clevenger didn't have a good day yesterday, but I'm going to give him a little slack. I mean, he hasn't been out there for 2 years. So let's give him a few more outings before we start with all the negative stuff on social media. And another guy that's really making a name for himself this spring is C.J. Abrams, who's normally an infielder. Well, Bob Melvin says he might get some reps in center field. Now Trent Grisham's looking over his shoulder. He's hitting a buck. Padres are winning 3-0 in the 6th against Milwaukee today because of Nick Martinez and Manny Machado, who went deep to right center field to give them a 3-0 lead. They had a 1-run lead. But on a sac fly by Beatty, the new acquisition from the Dodgers, who drove in Eric Hosmer. Yeah. Now, I'm going to bring you to other MLB news. And this is all you really need to know. I'm going to talk about another major league team, but St. Louis beat the Nationals today down in West Palm Beach, Florida, 29-8. You know, just spring training, 29. That's embarrassing. I don't care what pitcher you are. I don't care where you pitched last year. That pitching staff, and I guarantee if you look at the line score, there was probably at least 6 to 8 pitchers for the Nationals. Thank you, Gil. Padres just took a 4-0 lead. 29-8. on 26 hits. And if you're keeping track, the Nationals are 1-10. Own the worst record in baseball, certainly not the best. You know, I've had my days of argument about the Dodger organization. It's not with the Dodger organization, because it's nothing against, it really wasn't anything against Tommy Lasorda or the Los Angeles Dodgers as a group or a whole. It was just the rivalry that I believe that we started to have with the Dodgers back probably around the 82 season, when the Padres started to make a little bit of a name for themselves. And let's face it, the Dodgers are the big brother in the division. Giants have been around just as long, but the Dodgers were closer, so naturally more of a natural rival. They talk about this rivalry with the Seattle Mariners. Not going to happen. I mean, it's boring. So that's not going to happen. The reason I'm talking about the Dodgers is because, you know, it's hard to root against, or naturally, if they're playing the San Diego Padres, I'm going to be rooting for the Padres, just like you all are, or most of you, except Terrence. But, you know, it's hard to root against an organization that does what the Dodgers did a day or two ago. They renewed the contract to Andrew Tolles. You go, you know, what's the big deal? Do you remember Andrew Tolles? He was a promising outfielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers that came up through their minor league system, broke into the big leagues in 2016 and hit a little over 300 for him. Played for the Dodgers in 17 and 18, and then fell off the earth, or what it seemed like. Yeah, they renewed his contract. You know why? Because since the season ended in 2018, it was discovered that Andrew Tolles has mental health issues. He even ended up homeless. And by renewing his contract, the Dodgers announced that they'll be able to support him financially. Are you kidding me? A ball club doing this? I don't care if this is a kid that came up through your minor league system his whole life. You just don't see major league clubs doing stuff like this. And it's nothing against major league clubs not having a heart. But they renewed his contract to support him financially and also provide him with healthcare needs that Andrew Tolles so badly needs because of his mental health conditions. Boy, I tell you what, that's a class move. That's a class move, and I applaud the Los Angeles Dodger organization. And even though their record is 7-4, they've got one of the better records in baseball. I know it's just spring training, but it's gotten to the point where Cody Bellinger, watching this kid, you have to feel bad for him. I mean, his offense has been abysmal. You know, I think a day or two ago, he had 19 at-bats with a couple of hits, 2 or 3. But he had struck out 9 consecutive times, 14 strikeouts out of 19 at-bats. And now it's gotten in his head. You can almost see it when he's at home plate. that he's got so many things on his mind. He's not thinking about the one thing that you have to think about as a hitter when you're at the plate, and that's picking up the baseball. So I wish Cody Bellinger some success, because for a kid to go from where he was to where he is now is a huge drop. And it's got to be really tough on him. And I bring that up in the same breath that I'm talking about Andrew Tolles. And I hope that this doesn't damage Cody Bellinger mentally, because trust me, it can. So again, Hacienda Casablanca, thank you. All of you folks that have tuned in today, thank you. I appreciate the continued support. My buddy Tom Drake at Lacima Oil Company for providing our gas card, which I normally show you because I like to tease, but I haven't received it yet. But he's good for it. I'm not worried about it. So either Friday show or one of the shows next week, and I know I promised you a panel on the new collective bargaining agreement to go over all aspects of you for those of you that are really interested, because I've seen a lot of feedback from a lot of different people on, what's going on, why are they doing this, why didn't they do this. So as soon as everything's ratified and out to the public, I want to highlight things. I'm going to go through the agreement with you, with the panel, and answer all your questions and comments. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of great comments and questions out there. And we're going to have that show for you probably next week. I'm getting in touch with the right people to be on that panel. So again, thank you for watching. Tune in again Friday, back here at 3:15 with you. And until then, enjoy your baseball, and all the news that happens between now and then, and the stuff that I missed today, I'll get to you on Friday. So until then, for producer Joe, I'm Kurt Bevacqua saying thank you, folks. Talk to you soon.